Hi everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the secrets hidden in corporate filings. Today we are diving into a company that's about to tie the knot, but first let's see what skeletons they're trying to hide before walking down the aisle. We're looking at an amendment to Pactiv Evergreen's annual report and things are getting interesting. Basically, Pactiv Evergreen, the company we're talking about today, was supposed to file some information about their directors and executives in their annual report, but guess what? They didn't. Now they're filing this Amendment No. 1 to add that missing information. Turns out they're expecting a merger to be completed soon. And so think of this filing as if the company has decided to clean its room before the future owners come to take over. First, let's meet the people in charge. The filing lists all the names, ages, and positions of the folks sitting on the board and the executive officers as of late March. We have Leanne Baker, the chairperson of the board, Duncan Hawkesby, Alan Hughley, Linda Massman, Rolf Stangl, and Felicia Thornton. All of them serving as directors. Then you've got Michael King, who is the president and CEO, and also a board member, Jonathan Baksh, Chandra Mitchell, Douglas Owenby, and Eric Wolf holding other key executive positions. There is something interesting here. Duncan Hawkesby's father-in-law is someone who owns a lot of the company. Packaging Finance Limited, which is the controlling shareholder of the company. Now let's talk about the committees. The board has three main committees: the Audit Committee, the Compensation Committee, and the Nominating Committee. Each committee has a chairperson to lead the meetings. The Audit Committee has folks like Linda Massman and Felicia Thornton and is led by Miss Thornton herself. The Compensation Committee makes important decisions about what the top executives get paid, and the Nominating Committee is in charge of picking out who gets to be on the board of directors. These people have to play by the rules. The company has a code of business conduct and ethics for all employees, officers, and directors, and an insider trading policy. Now let's see what the directors get paid. So some directors who are part of other companies linked to Pactiv, called affiliated directors, don't get any extra pay for being directors. The directors that are not affiliated directors get paid in cash and stock, with the chairperson of the board getting a bit more. The interesting part is we have the 2024 compensation numbers for the directors. Leanne Baker made more than $400,000 in all types of compensations. All right, let's get into the juicy stuff, executive pay. This section explains how they decide how much to pay the top dogs, what they did well, and if it was linked to the amount these people got paid. The executives have the potential to earn an annual bonus if they hit financial goals. It's also interesting the committee considered all the executives contributed to make the sales of company portions divestitures. A big focus, so they got higher compensation for that. The CEO pay is very reliant on achieving company goals, over $1 million. So they ended up paying approximately 90% of the plan. They get grants to be converted into shares to generate higher financial performance. In 2022, the company had decided that if sales of company portions were happening, then executives would be incentivized for that, and they made adjustments to the settlement percentage. And finally, the company agreed to give the executives a bonus to mitigate potential liability of the company. Tax-deductible compensation for executives is limited to $1 million, but sometimes they will pay more anyway to ensure they get paid as much as what others make. Now let's get a look at this table of cold, hard numbers. In the summary compensation table, we see exactly how much these executives took home in 2024, 2023, and 2022. Michael King, the president and CEO, raked in almost $12 million. We can see his base salary was more than $1 million, plus bonuses, stock awards, and other compensation. Jonathan Baksh, the CFO, made almost $4 million. Timothy Levendar made over $3 million, and Timothy Levendar made over $3 million. It's worth to scroll back a little bit to see how much money they made based on the company achieving its established target. Here's a summary of unvested options, units, stocks, and rights that are out there. This gives a sense of potential future wealth for these executives. Michael J. King has rights to over $1 million of unvested rewards. If you were looking to participate in the retirement plan, you are too late. This plan is just for Eric Wolf as part of his pension. It's worth $22,000. This table lays out what the executives would get if they were terminated, experienced a change in control, or other events happened. It's like a what-if scenario for their wallets. So what if someone gets fired? Well, if you're high up enough, you get pretty good severance packages. Some executives would get big payouts. Here is something interesting. Check this number out. The CEO to median employee pay ratio. Turns out the CEO makes 183 times more than the average employee. Here's another critical fact. It seems that the company is owned by a very small number of people. Packaging Finance Limited is the owner of 76% of all the shares. Here are some related party transactions, which is when the company has dealings with other businesses that are connected through ownership or board members. Every TP millions in rent and free or worth of aluminum to they pay millions in rent. The company also shares insurance policies with Rank, another related business. And lastly, fees to the company that did all the calculations of accounting. Fees reached almost $7 million to PricewaterhouseCoopers. So what's the story here? Pactiv Evergreen is on the verge of a major change. The filing reveals a company with executives potentially being well rewarded, thanks to deals that have brought them huge profits. The big boss makes 183x what an average employee makes. What this report is all about is how well protected are the major people in charge on a merger, if the merger affects them negatively. Based on the numbers, it seems like the top folks are going to do just fine, whatever happens in the future. Pactiv Evergreen has a lot of good relationships. A weakness is the company is reliant on few people at the top. Also, even though this isn't discussed by Pactiv Evergreen, the company is potentially becoming owned by some people in particular. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown helpful, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment and subscribe for more corporate deep dives. What company should we decode next? Let me know in the comments.